Hi guys, welcome back to Best in Show Books. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Gina.
We're here at Naughty Dog Books in Nashville, Indiana, and today we have a very fun episode. We are going to be doing our summer TBR, our hopeful summer TBR.
Ones we actually want to pull off of the TBR that's extremely large.
Right, yeah. So TBR, to be read list.
Yes.
So these are all books that we have been hoping to read for a long time. And I don't know about you, but I had a really hard time narrowing it down.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I had a really hard time. I had piles. Like, I was just telling you, my husband came home yesterday and he's like, what's with the piles? And I'm like, I'm trying to decide what I'm putting on my to be read list because I thought they were all to be read.
There's an order. Gosh.
I was like, yeah, but I want to pull 4 that we're going to actually, I'm definitely going to read this summer. So
yeah.
These are the 4.
Yeah. So Gina has 4 and I have 4. These are not book club picks for the store, which we do have those planned out in advance. So these are totally separate from like store book club events, anything like that. And
just
we
want tos.
Hope we get to them.
Yes.
So why don't you start us off?
Okay. So my first one is it's Lisa Jewell book, Don't Let Him In. And this is an ARC. So this is an advanced reader copy, which means that it hasn't been published yet, but it's due out June of this year. So it's coming. Just hold on tight.
Just around the corner.
Yep. So I'm really excited. I really like Lisa Jewell, Lucy Foley, kind of that vein of author. If you like the mystery thriller, this one takes place. There's 3 main people that are on a collision course.
Oh my.
Yeah. So one lady is trying to possibly date somebody, and her daughter is like, he's just too good to be true, Mom. So I'm going to do some digging. And then there's another lady who is married with the husband that's perfect, and they have a little one. And somehow the 3 of the daughter and the mother and the wife of the husband that's perfect, their lives all intersect and crash. So I'm excited to read this. The advanced reader reviews are this may be her best book yet.
Ooh.
That this is the most exciting one I've read. I'm so glad I read it. Your mom has read this one. She's the one that gave it to me. She's like, I think you'll really like it. So this one is looking forward to a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been a while since I read a Lisa Jewell book. She's really popular. And with popular authors, sometimes for me, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to read that, which is like stubbornity, you know?
Sometimes when they're popular, you feel like they crank them out and it's not their best work.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm riding my own coattails.
Yeah.
And so I have favorite authors that I'll read anything about them, but sometimes when they're popular, I'm like, let's hold off a minute.
Yeah, I know. And it's been a while since I've read a Lisa Jewell. And so I am excited to read this one too. Maybe I'll borrow it after you.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited about this one. I picked a fiction thriller. What genre did you pick for your first one?
This is a nonfiction, leans a little true crime, but from the reviews I read, it's mainly history. Ooh. It's called Trespassers at the Golden Gate, a true account of love, murder, and madness. 3 great words. In Gilded-Age, San Francisco. It's by Gary Krist. And I have never read anything by him, but I do really enjoy narrative nonfiction along the lines of Eric Larson, John Krakauer, where history reads like a thriller, for lack of a better term. And so I have heard that his books are like this, and I'm really excited to read this. So they tell you right on the jacket cover that this woman comes like to a dock, and I apologize if this is not like a ton of detail and you're looking for it, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, when we haven't read them, it's kind of hard.
It's the whole point. So she comes and she's there on the dock. It's 1870, and she pulls out a little pistol, a little antique.
I picture the little ones.
Little pistol, and she goes up a single shot at this well-dressed gentleman, and she says, "I did it, and I don't deny it."
Ooh, okay. Well, there you go.
Bam. So although it covers this case of this woman murdering her lover, it also goes through the history and creation of San Francisco, taking it from kind of gold mine, like boomtown, to thriving metropolis. So that's something that I don't really know about, and I'm excited to learn about it.
That's really cool. One of the books that I'm reading that's not anything in a book club or it's my want to read is in the West, and they keep going to San Francisco with the gold mine stuff. So I'm kind of excited because they keep talking about like Beacon Hill, and this is going to be good. So after you read it, Fine, we'll swap.
Yeah, we'll swap. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So what's your next one?
My next one. So this is a sequel. And it came out, the first one came out last year. We did it as a book club.
Yeah, we did.
And it was Every Time I Go on Vacation, Somebody Dies, right? That's the first one.
It was a long,
Every time I go on vacation, someone dies. So this one is No One Was Supposed to Die at the Wedding by Catherine Mack. So if you have read the first one, there's kind of a cliffhanger-ish, like, there's a wedding coming and obviously there's a dead person at the wedding. So this lady is a writer.
The main character.
Yeah, the main character, Eleanor Dash. I can't remember her name. She's a best-selling author. And so the first book, she goes on vacation and she's plugging her book and people start dying and it's fun. It's a fun romp.
It was fun. It was kind of zany, that first one.
And they were in Italy?
Italy.
They were in Italy. Yeah. So that was kind of fun. So then you get some of the characters, I think, that are coming in the second one, like her sister, a publicist, and so the wedding. And I'm guessing that dead people are going to be a problem. So her best friend since childhood is starring in the movie adaptation of When in Rome, which is When in Rome is the book that she writes about her adventures about the first time they go on vacation. And so then as filming wraps, they invite the whole cast and crew to a wedding in Catalina Island. So I like that the locations are kind of exotic and ritzy and kind of fun in these. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. There may be a storm ahead. And so Eleanor is a professional at this point, and she'll do anything she can to uncover the murderer so true love can prevail. But it's too late for her and the rest of the storm-trapped wedding party. So there's So I'm really excited about this one. I've been looking forward to it since the first one because we knew the second one was coming. And so this is my zany fun read for the summer.
Yeah.
And it's a bright cover.
It is. It's a great, colorful summertime
beautiful cover. Yeah. So I liked, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're okay.
I just really liked the cover when it came out.
Yeah. It's a good cover. And the first one also had a good cover. It had lemons on it. Yes. And that was one, like you said, we read last summer and pretty much the whole book club enjoyed that for what it was, like a light summertime kind of popcorn.
I mean, it's
zany,
a mystery.
Yeah, mystery.
But they had some humor to it. And I mean, she's an author who's a little, has to have her mints in the room and kind of, that spoiled. Her sister takes care of everything. Yeah. She didn't know her own calendar. She didn't know where anything was. So I'm looking forward to seeing if she's changed a little bit or if she's still very,
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good light summer choice.
Yes.
Good choice.
Okay. All right. So we've had a thriller. We've had a nonfiction out in San Francisco, Gilded-Age. We've got a zany summer read that's kind of fun. Mine was an arc. Is this one an arc?
Mine is an arc too. It's not out yet. My next choice for my summer TBR, and not only my summer TBR, my top reads of the year. When I got this in the mail, I was so excited, like Christmas Day. Because when you work at a bookstore, you get a lot of arcs because the publishers want you to read the books and they want you to plug them. And so they're not always winners. Okay. So sometimes you get them and you're like, oh, okay. But I opened this and was like, and my husband was like, I'm going to read that. And I was like, back off. So anyways, my next read for my summer TBR is Scott Carson's Departure 37. It's not out yet. It's an arc, like we said, comes out August 5th. So
close.
Dead of summer.
Yeah.
And it is another horror coming of age, supernatural-ish story along with the likes of Stephen King, old Stephen King. So if you have seen our favorite books video that we did, I also talked about another Scott Carson video, Lost Man's Lane, which is another coming of age or supernatural. I love his books. I cannot recommend them highly enough. So this one, it takes place in the past on a clear October day. Hundreds of pilots refuse to fly, and so they issue a ground stop. And they're like, why? What has caused this? Well, the pilots received multiple calls, all from their moms, in the middle of the night saying, don't fly.
Oh.
But then the mothers have no memory of making those calls. Chilling? Okay. And because Scott Carson is from Bloomington, Indiana, which is 30 minutes away, all of his books, or a lot of them, have ties to Indiana. So this one has a tie to an airfield, I believe, in southern Indiana. The main character sounds like a 16-year-old girl, and she, in Maine, where he also lives, so he's alternating between Maine and Indiana, sees a mysterious balloon drift across the water, And so this is hard. We haven't read it. We're getting there. Naval Base in Indiana, 1962.
Oh.
A physicist discovers something extraordinary and deadly. And also as an explanation to why I don't really have a good synopsis of the book, I literally just read these blind.
Oh,
I don't ever read the synopsis. I'm like, I'm in. So, but it's going to have this Cold War kind of feel, airfield, naval base, mystery coming of age. It's going to be so good. On my TBR, should be on yours.
You mentioned like the balloons that are mysterious. I feel like with all the drone sightings we've been having lately and all the airport issues and flight issues, like, I don't know. This is timely.
Yeah.
And people's peripheral view of seeing air travel maybe.
Right.
Like this could be.
It even says that he deftly weaves Cold War espionage with contemporary terror, which might be to some of that, espionage, surveillance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
that's
excited.
Gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a really good one. I really need to read the other one that you recommended too, because that one sounded so good. I think, and I think one of our other booksellers picked it up after you mentioned it.
Did she really?
Yeah. She's like,
so good.
She's like, where's that book that she was talking about?
Oh yeah. Good. So Departure 37. So excited to read it.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
What's next for you?
So Ruth Ware, One Perfect Couple. I love Ruth Ware. She is one of my favorite authors. And I've had the privilege of actually going to an author event and meeting her.
Oh,
and
nice.
That was really exciting. And she's British. And so to hear her speak is so charming.
Yeah.
So this was, I got this last year. So I'm really sad to say it's been sitting on my shelf and I've been staring at it for almost an entire year. Yeah.
That's what the TBR is for, guys.
So she has written The Woman in Cabin 10, The It Girl, Turn of the Key, which is probably one of my favorites of hers. This one, I love that it says it harkens back to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. Because Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None is one of my favorite books. I love Agatha Christie. And I feel like Ruth Ware writes a little bit along that lines. When you read her, you can't figure it out. You think you've got it, and then you don't. So this one is really excited. So Lila is in a bit of a rut. Her postdoctoral research has fizzled out, and she's pretty sure that they won't extend her contract. So, and she's got a boyfriend, Nico. He's an aspiring actor, which, I mean, let's face it, we've got a nerd and a physicist here, and then an actor. That can't go well, right? So, but there's a cast. They're casted for a reality TV show.
Oh, I love reality TV.
Yeah, so they decide to try out, and they get it, and then they are trapped on this island, and they're cut off from the mainland by miles of ocean. They're deprived from phones. They can't contact anybody. So if you watch reality TV, they take all of they're supposedly take all of their phones, and they can't contact anybody. So there's that. It's a fast-paced, it's spellbinding, it's got intrigue, the characters are true to life, and I agree with this statement. Ruth Ware is the queen of psychological suspense, because as you read her books, you don't know, like, it's in your mind. I feel like she's really good at that. With Turn of the Key, you don't know if it's supernatural or not until the end, and I love that. Very gothic feel. I thought Woman in Cabin 10 was really good too, because you kind of wasn't sure if she was going crazy.
Like the first one that I read by her.
Yeah, like, was she going crazy, or does she actually see these things? So I'm really excited about this one. I feel like it'll be a fast-paced thriller for the summer read. So I'm excited.
That's a good choice.
It's a bright cover.
Yeah, another summer cover.
Yeah, and since they're stuck on an island, I figured that's summery.
Yeah, exactly. Very much so.
Even if the people start dying one by one, it's still summery.
Yeah. It's dying in paradise.
Dying in paradise.
Yeah.
What could you ask for, right? All right, we're just chugging right along on this TBR list. If only we could read them this fast.
I know, exactly. Easier to talk about than read.
It is. So where are we going next?
So my next pick on my summer TBR is an ARC. It's not out yet, and I also don't have it. It is called The House of Two Sisters by Rachel Louise Driscoll. It's out June 6th, and I am so excited for this one. It is a blend of Victorian Gothic meets Egyptian mythology, which is like such a good combo.
Yeah.
Such a good combo. So let me tell you a little bit about it. In a nutshell, a young Victorian Egyptologist traverses the Nile on a mission to undo a curse that may have befallen her family in this spellbinding debut novel.
Well, there you go. Oh, it's a debut.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So that is the brief thing, but I'll give you a few more details. So the main part of the story, I think, is when she's an adult and she's going on this mission with these kind of hodgepodge travelers to undo this like curse. But when she's younger, she has this interest in Egyptology and she can read hieroglyphics. And you know the Victorians and their love of ancient Egypt. I love the Victorians and all the weird things that they used to do. They were like prime society.
They had weird museums.
They did. They probably still do.
Yeah.
They do, in fact. And they used to, fun side note, eat mummies. I know I have heard that they did that. Anyways.
Okay.
I don't know if they did that in this. So she could read hieroglyphics. And she is at like one of these parties, and her father is also an Egyptologist. So as a child, here she is performing her party trick. And she's reading like the words off an amulet. Ooh. But then something happens and it sounds a little bit like maybe she unleashes a curse and like bad things happen. So as an adult, she ends up taking this amulet and wants to return it to where it came from and kind of atone for these, the sins of this curse that she may have unleashed. So it sounds really different from anything else out there. Whenever a book comes out about ancient Egypt, I'm like, oh, I should read that. Yeah. It just is so different, so unique. And I'm really excited about that.
I should have put the Fiona Davis one on my list because
I thought about that one too.
I know, because I was like, I really want to read that too.
The Stolen Queen.
Yes, the Stolen Queen. But Queens? Queen seems to be a thing with me lately, so I was like, maybe I ought to just set that aside for a hot minute.
Yeah,
we had really good too.
Christmas with the Queen. We're Christmas with the Queen.
Yep. Queens of London.
Queens of London. Queens of Crime. Stolen Queen.
The Stolen Queen. I had a Queens of the Mob on my table, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, did you have a queen stack?
I guess I kind of almost did. But this sounds really good. Yeah. And I'm envisioning like hints of the Mummy.
I know. Yes.
Which I love the Mummy.
Yeah. So of course I thought about that too when I read through the synopsis and was like, oh. Yeah. So I have it, but haven't started it yet.
Oh, exciting.
It might be a good historical fiction book.
It might actually. Future, yeah. Especially if it's a debut and it's something different. And we've been trying to pick outside of World War II, and because that's where a lot of us at Book Club talk about that. We live in World War II because that's what usually comes out with historical fiction. So when we find something different, I'm excited to do that.
So speaking of World War II, Gina, when does your next book take place?
Not in World War II.
It's pretty close, isn't it? It's after, right?
It's after. It's 1952.
Stand corrected.
But it has a connection with the Christmas with the Queen, because Christmas with the Queen was the same time frame because it was the smog. The great smog of London that was really bad. This one has a time frame that it talks about. This one has a dual timeline.
I love that.
Starts in let me tell you. Sorry, the story She Left Behind by Patti Callahan Henry. I love her. She wrote Becoming Mrs. Lewis, and I just The Lies We Tell. I just finished.
The Secret
Book of Flora Lee, which I have not read, but I've heard is really good. She's just one of my favorites. Lyrical, the characters are just so endearing. I usually cry in her books. I don't know why, but I do. So this one is a dual timeline. It starts in 1927, and Clara's mother is a renowned author, and she disappears from her home in South Carolina. But she is a literary prodigy. She writes in her own secret language until she's ready to publish her book. So nobody can read her manuscripts until she's ready for them. So when she disappears, she has a manuscript that they find, but they can't read it. So not only does Mom disappear, she's left this manuscript, which is a sequel to a book that's her like big seller. Okay. And so nobody can read it. So after all of these years in 1952, when the daughter Clara is now an adult and an illustrator, raising her own daughter, a stranger named Charlie from London. This is where the Great Smog comes in London. He contacts her and says, I have the dictionary for your mom's secret language, and we can translate this. And so a mystery happens where she has to go and find in London this guy who claims to have a dictionary, takes her daughter. So maybe they might find out, why was her mom in London? Why is this guy named Charlie have this special dictionary? And so it says that it's told in Patti's lyrical, enchanting prose. The story left behind is captivating novel of mystery and family legacy that captures a profound longing for a mother and the evergreen allure of secrets. So I really like The Secrets We Tell because the secrets were not as horrible as you might have thought, but the secrets were damning enough for the family to have issues. So you don't have to have these horrible, like literally a body in the closet secrets to destroy families. So this secret novel, I can't wait to see what it's about. Like, what kind of secrets is she going to leave behind for her daughter? Maybe what does it have to do with the mystery of her disappearing? The location of South Carolina and London, the dual timelines.
The locations are like, couldn't be more different.
I know. So I'm wondering, and I don't know this, and I should, that if Patti Callahan Henry lives in South Carolina, because a couple of her books have taken place in the South.
Let's do some quick investigating.
Yes.
She lives in Alabama and South Carolina.
There we go. Because a couple of her books have been on that southern coastline, and you can kind of get the feel that maybe she really knows her stuff in the South. So I'm excited. It's a pretty cover. It just came out like in the last month or two.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty recent.
It's really new. And it's been, I got it as soon as it came out, and I haven't read it yet. So I'm excited.
That's going to be really interesting, especially the London.
Yeah.
Because the London timeline location, because the Great Smog is so fascinating. It's even, if you've seen The Crown, have you seen?
Not
that far?
No, not that far.
That's in it. That is maybe like just 1 or 2 episodes, but that's pretty interesting. And I read a nonfiction book several years ago. It's excellent. It's called Death in the Air. Do you remember the cover? It's a young woman, a black and white photo, and she has like a mask on.
Yeah.
And I feel like I read it right around COVID, which was like, interesting parallel circumstances.
Yes.
And it was by Kate Winkler Dawson. And it was a very good read if you read this and you want to know more about the Great Smog. Highly recommend that.
Or if you read the Christmas with the Queen, and they talk about the fact that people were sick, they died, they had to leave London.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really deadly thing. And that just is amazing to me that even in the 1950s, they were still dealing with that kind of smog.
Yeah.
I mean, not just London fog, but smog.
Right. Yeah. Deadly.
Yeah.
Smog.
Yeah. It was toxic. So I'm just excited because I feel like we've been really good about somehow tying things together with all of our books. So that was a happenstance. Didn't know that was going to be in there until like yesterday.
That'll be good.
Yeah. So we've left London and we've left the coastline of South Carolina. Are we still in fiction or are we going nonfiction?
We're going nonfiction, but also in a very interesting destination. We're going to the Amazon.
Ooh.
Yeah. I feel like I've never read a book set in the Amazon. So
yeah.
So my last TBR pick for this summer is The River of Doubt by Candice Millard. It's actually really old, really old. Came out in 2005. That's old. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. 20 years ago. It's 20 years old. Oh my gosh. No. I'm like,
it doesn't feel like it.
Spinning right now. Okay. So The River of Doubt is nonfiction and it takes place in the Amazon, obviously. And what it's referring to is a tributary, an uncharted tributary of the Amazon River. And so Teddy Roosevelt, after he was not elected in 1912, it sounds like he goes on a massive, manly, ego-boosting adventure to like map and chart this unknown tributary. And I have heard genuinely nothing but good things about this. And not even good things, but like glowing, where people say, this is the best nonfiction book I've ever read. It was so good. And so he takes a team with him, like his son goes with him and several other guides and explorers. And along the way, there are all these things that happen. Like they lose a canoe, people get sick, they have like attacks from natives, and there's a murder. So I'm really, really excited about this. And this is the one that has probably been on my TBR the longest. Not 20 years long, but but that I finally am like, I really want to get around to. And I feel like it's got summer vibes. I would never want to go to the Amazon in the summer, but I would definitely read about it.
I don't know that I want to go to the Amazon at all.
Yeah. True.
Like in that area where the jungle.
Jumanji style.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Yeah. Big bugs. No, I don't do bugs. No. So The River of Doubt by Candice Millard. I'm really excited to read that. And I think it will be a good read. And she's also got several others. One about President Garfield. The title is like Madness and Murder or something. And I've also heard really good things about that too. And it's also an older read. So
So kind of presidential, like maybe she follows the
Maybe at least those two
unknown presidential stuff, which is kind of cool. So wasn't Roosevelt involved in the canal, the locks, like building of that? Didn't he start
building what?
The locks down in South America? Never mind.
I don't know.
The canal that we gave back. Panama.
That's Central America.
I know, but wasn't he involved in that getting that started and doing all that? I just feel
know.
like he may have
maybe I'll find out.
Maybe he has a connection to the Central America and Amazon and all of that. And so
we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll report back.
There we
go.
go.
Or you can tell us. We don't know.
So that part of history is obviously a little fuzzy.
Yeah. It's not World War II.
Yeah.
It's not ancient Egypt.
Yep.
We don't have it covered.
All I know is the teddy bear was named after him.
Yeah, exactly. Teddy Roosevelt is most fresh in my mind as Night at the Museum because my kids love those movies. And so that's who I envision.
And he was the police commissioner because I watched Blue Bloods. And there's a picture of him hangs behind Tom Selleck.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. There's our historical
facts. Yeah, exactly. We really need to learn more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Teddy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Teddy and relatives. We apologize.
Well, we have quite an extensive list in our TBRs. We've spanned
the globe.
We've spanned the globe. We've spanned the time, time, space, continual. So if you want to read any of these or have read any of them, please let us know if you've liked them, the authors, maybe you know something about Teddy Roosevelt we need to know. I'm excited about our reads. I'm excited about the ones that Shelby picked, and so that we can swap some if we ever get around to reading our own.
That'll be next summer's TBR. Will be
swapped.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We have enjoyed bumbling through and laughing our way through these.
Excellent description.
TBR, because when we haven't read them, it feels really odd to tell you why we want to read them
and tell you about them.
Yes. Because I'm like you, I don't always read the jacket cover.
No, I enjoy going in kind of like, if I would take a book, flip it over and be like, oh, Amazon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll try it. That's how I do feel like I find a lot of my reads.
I agree with that. And sometimes I'll start a book and I'm like, I don't think I knew what this was about.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I read anything about this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, there's a character in a place that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Which I like. It's, so I'm excited to read these, and I know you are too. So thank you for joining us. And again, drop us some information in the comments below about maybe if you've read them or going to read them or have information for us.
Thanks for watching. I'm Shelby.
I'm Gina.
And we'll see you next time.